BONEWORKS. Some say it's the ultimate VR game, some say it's just a tech demo, and some say it doesn't work on their Windows mixed reality headsets. I personally stand with the people that think it's amazing. If you think, oh, well, BONEWORKS is what VR is supposed to be, so it's not that impressive, well, I think that's exactly what this game is supposed to be, the definition of VR. I expected this game to blow my pants off with full immersion and amazing physics, but that's not what happened. The game wasn't exactly what I wanted because, well, I didn't make it, and I sure hope I didn't blow my pants off. But at the end of the day, when the sun is down and the birds are asleep, it's still an amazing VR game. We don't know a lot about the story of this game, but from what our community has collected so far, we know that your name is Arthur Ford, and you are the director of security for the MythOS owned by a company called Monogon. Monogon has a rival company called Gammon, and you supposedly make a deal with them after you try and create immortality within the MythOS system from the Void Leaks. Instead of fixing the Void Leaks and keeping everything normal, Arthur decides to make the deal with Gammon that they will help you find immortality in exchange to help them hack MythOS. The story is fairly hard to explain, so instead of me explaining it to you, there's a Google Doc that explains the lore of the story pretty well that I have left in the description for you guys. When I first got into BONEWORKS and my friend Matthew came over the day of release, the first thing that we did was mess around in the main menu. I noticed a huge shelf and decided to climb it like the evolutional monkey that I am. I started climbing up the shelf and noticed that it started falling forwards onto me, and it scared the shit out of me. I learned two things from this experience. One was that climbing in this game is like grappling a 300-pound wet sumo wrestler, and two, that the weight physics in this game is amazing. At first, I was disappointed with how things I climb fall over, but then I realized, well, if I was climbing a shelf in real life, wouldn't I be more careful in case it did fall over? Then I tried climbing the shelf like I would in real life, being careful not to tip over, and sure enough, I could stand on top of the shelf. With all of these different things to climb, like pipes, ladders, certain walls, and steel beams, there are so many ways to finish each level and avoid certain enemies, almost too many options. I enjoyed being able to climb pipes above large quantities of enemies and dropping down on them like Batman. This was especially fun for certain levels like the warehouse, where it is designed to be played in multiple different ways. This is by far my favorite part of the game. Hats off to Wyckoff for creating such a creative and memorable soundtrack. I've said good things about a lot of different soundtracks, but this singular game takes the cake. Here are some of the best tracks just to show you what I mean. Some of the songs are dreadful like in the sewers, some of them get your heart pumping like when the Omni guys come to kill you, and some of them are soft and calm like in the museum. None of the songs feel out of place and they all do their part at making you feel a certain way. The fighting and combat throughout this game just leaves you wanting a lot more. The enemies are so fun to try and kill differently every time. As Just0 said, the main focus of this game was for the player to be able to do whatever they please when it comes to fighting or finishing levels. Just the melee in this game was really fun with short blades and blunt weapons. The only weapons that I didn't like were the long swords just because of how heavy they were, and you could only hold them from the base of the sword, making them move all over when you try and strike an enemy. The guns in this game are flawless, the shooting is satisfying, and the weight recoil is even better. The best part about shooting is when I was using the MP5 in the story mode, the recoil was a little too strong, so I thought, hey, what if I just put my arm on top of the gun to stop the recoil from going up? And it worked. I guarantee that if you did that in a game like Pavlov or Payday 2 VR, the gun would go straight through your arm. Certain attention to details like being able to play keep up with bullet casings and being able to hold the butt of the gun just makes this game 10 times better. The atmosphere of this game is switched up a lot throughout the game. Certain atmospheres gave off different feelings, some I liked and some I didn't. The street level, for example, I did not like at all. The music, the open area, the plain and boring design, I hated this entire mission. But the warehouse mission, on the other hand, had an amazing, detailed, colorful, tight and compacted yet so open, was the best level in the game. I don't know why I liked this mission so much, maybe because of the shootout scene at the end of it, maybe because of the stealthy way you can play through the whole level. I guess we will never know. Obviously, that's just my opinion, but almost all the levels in this game, from the soundtrack to the level design, are perfect in their own ways. With a solid 30 hours into this game, I can clearly give this game a 10 out of 10, just because of the memorable soundtrack, amazing physics, perfect shooting, decent graphics, and now that I've done my research, a pretty good story. I've played a lot of VR games in the last 2 years I've had my Vive, and I can easily say that this is the best one on the market.